Welcome back to the channel, guys. It is me, 8744, and today, guys, we're ranking the World Cup runners up in the 21st century, guys. So, even though I said in the title 21st century, I'm really meaning 1998 to 2022. It's just that the reason why I chose those years in particular because that is the time we had the World Cup expanded to 32 teams, of course. And as we know, 2022 was the last World Cup, it's not 32 teams. As the next World Cup, 2026, will be with 48 teams. So, I figured this will be kind of a good video to do as kind of a way to build up to the World Cup next year, guys, and everything like that. So you're probably wondering, why did I not do winners? Why am I doing runners up instead? Well, the reason for that is because I've already seen so many people do for the winners. And in fact, I've already done the winners before in the past, you guys. In fact, I'll leave a link description below. Link here in the annotations where I've already ranked the World Cup winners. It's just that I would like to do something different. Right? And no one's actually bothered to do the runners up, which is interesting, And I know there's a saying in this life that nobody remembers losers, everyone only remembers winners. Well, I'm going to change that narrative. I want to show some love and appreciation to the runners up teams because I think these runner up teams, in their own ways, did incredible. Some of these teams weren't even expected to reach the final, and some of these teams lost the final that we thought they would have won, right? So I feel like this will be a very interesting video. I definitely want to know what you guys think in the comments below. I will also leave a list below for you guys to do this tier list as well. And yeah, without further ado, man, let's go ahead and get started. So coming in last place, guys, the worst runner-up team here of the seven, in my opinion, is difficult. There's a lot of good ones here, but I'm going to go with Germany 02. And the simple reason why I'm going with Germany 02 is because, let's face it, guys, I believe they're the only runner-up. No, actually, no, I'm wrong with this. This is a team that largely reached the final of the World Cup, thanks in large part to Oliver Kahn. Oliver Kahn was the reason why Germany made them. And when you look at their path they had compared to the other teams we're going to get discussed later, their path wasn't that challenging. They had Paraguay, which at that time Paraguay were good. I'm not saying they weren't good, but Paraguay aren't as good as your top European teams, right? And it was around a 16. The United States team, and let's face it, guys, as good as the United States team is, Germany should be beating, right? And then South Korea, we know what South Korea did in the World Cup 2002. They cheated, like it's obvious. So and then the final they played against the Brazil team, which let's be real, they were going to lose. And unfortunately for them, Oliver Kahn made a mistake in the final, and obviously R9 showed up. So for me, I'm going to put Germany 02 last. I just don't think that they were that great, and I think they're the worst World Cup runner-up. I'm sorry to say. I also do want to give credit to Balak and Miroslav Klose. I think those two players were also incredible as well. Obviously, Balak wasn't there for the final itself; he was suspended. But I think those two players also deserve worth mentioning. But obviously, the main standing talking point here is obviously Oliver Kahn. Oliver Kahn is the reason why. Number six. Which team do I have number six, guys? Number six was a bit interesting, guys. And for me, I have is Argentina 2014. Argentina 2014, in my opinion, were obviously heavy favorites for that World Cup. And a lot of people were thinking that they could win the World Cup because Messi, what is his prime? We saw how good Messi was for Barcelona in 2014. He had an incredible season, although Barcelona didn't have a great season that season. In the Champions League, they got eliminated by Atletico Madrid. And of course, they lost the league title. So it wasn't a great season for Barcelona trophies-wise. But in terms of Messi, statistically, he had a very good season, right? As Messi was coming in and his prime, we saw how good he was in the opening game. He scored against Bosnia Herzegovina, and then obviously the next game he scored against Iran, of course, and the final game Nigeria. I mean, bro, the guy scored in 3 consecutive games, 4 goals in the group stage is phenomenal. Then the knockout stage, he gave that assist to Di Maria against Switzerland. Then the quarterfinal, Higuain scored the goal, and then the semifinal was a very tough game, and a 0-0 went to penalties, and Messi, of course, scored. And then in the final against Germany, Messi had a good amount of chances. He had that free kick, of course. He missed that big chance as well. And obviously, Higuain had that offside goal. And yeah, Argentina lost, of course, in extra time. Mario Götze coming off. So the thing with Argentina 2014 is that Messi wasn't even the best player in my opinion. In 2014, Argentina. You could maybe say he was probably the best for the group stage, but in terms of throughout the tournament, I would say Mascherano was better than Messi. He was unbelievable in defense, unbelievable in midfield as well. And I just feel like, sorry, defense. I just feel like for me, Argentina do not reach the World Cup final without Mascherano. I just thought he was incredible and everything. And I just feel like for me, Mascherano was incredible. And remember, Argentina didn't even concede a goal in the knockout stage all the way into the final. So for me, for that reason, I think Argentina is great, but like I said, they just didn't have enough attacking power. I mean, when you look at the amount of goals they scored in the knockout stage, I think they only scored one goal. It's pretty bad. Sorry, two goals in 4 games. So that's pretty bad. So yeah, for me, I'm putting Argentina 2014 sixth, and I think that's pretty fair. Number 5, I have is Croatia 2018, guys. Croatia 2018. This is a team that overachieved, made the World Cup final against all the odds. And what's crazy is they had to come through the playoffs, just like Germany did in 02. But the difference is that Croatia didn't have like a single player that carried them. I felt like it was a very much a team effort. Modric played his part. Rakitic played his part. Subasic played his part. Uh, Vida played his part. Um, what's it called? Perisic played his part, and Zukic played his part. It was a very much collective effort. And unlike the two teams we've kind of discussed already, where I think one player is really the main guy of the team, Croatia, there wasn't one man. Everyone played their part. And what made this so incredible is the fact that Croatia did it against the odds. Like against Denmark, they went through on penalties. Against Russia, they played the host team that just knocked out Spain, by the way. And people are thinking, okay, maybe Russia can do it. I mean, if Russia could knock out Spain, they could surely knock out Croatia. And remember, Croatia coming to the World Cup weren't even considered the favorites. A lot of people said Croatia would get grouped in that group. Argentina and Nigeria, I think, were the more popular picks to advance in that group. And then against England, everybody wrote them off against England, and they managed to beat England. And what's crazy is they had to come from behind against England as well. Unfortunately for them, though, the final they were not great in. They lost 4-2, and obviously France were more clinical in the game. And obviously, to this day, Croatia are still very disappointed with that handball, which was a penalty, in my opinion. And so you could probably say in terms of like final performances, if you had to get final performances, because we're ranking this, by the way, for the entire World Cup. See, if we're ranking this by the final performances, I'd probably put them near the bottom because they didn't have a good performance. They lost 4-2. Um, but we're taking everything into account. We're not ranking just by the final itself, which I think will be disingenuous. We're ranking them by the quality of the team, their knockouts, and everything. And for me, for that reason, I think Croatia 2018 is fifth. And this is the first time they ever reached a World Cup final in their history. And we'll see if they ever make a World Cup final ever again in their history. So, incredible achievement for them. I think Croatia 2018 deserved fifth. So, let's go ahead and talk about fourth place. My fourth place pick I have here is France 2020. I feel like France 2022 was largely the same as the 2018 team. Difference was that France midfield was not as good as the 2018 team. I mean, 2018 you had Pogba, you had Matuidi, you had Conte. 2022 you had Chouameni and Rabiot. And I'm sorry, that's a huge downgrade. You go from Pogba and Conte to like world class midfielders with Chouameni and Rabiot. I mean, Chouameni is good. I mean, he's not bad, but come on, when you compare Chouameni to Pogba, it's night and day difference, right? And when you look at that France defense, Umtiti was so incredible in 2018. People forget how good Umtiti was in 2018. He was one of the big reasons why France was so good in 2018 defensively. I thought he was incredible. Obviously, Varane was great as well. Varane was good, but I feel like Umtiti was better than Varane. And so in 2018, obviously, Umtiti was finished. They had to choose another center back, and the other center back they chose wasn't as good as Umtiti. And obviously, Lloris was incredible in 2018. Lloris was not as good in 2022. And Mbappe, man. You know what's crazy? I think the only player that was actually better in 2022 than 2018 was probably Mbappe. You can maybe argue Griezmann. Griezmann is one you could maybe argue, but I feel like Griezmann was still better in 2018 because he was scoring those penalties, he was getting those goal contributions. I feel like 2020 was more of like a player that's like a workhorse player, right? Mbappe, man, what a World Cup he had in 2022. And we look at the path that France had. They had Poland in the round of 16, which they easily took care of. England gave them a tough game, guys. And let's be real, guys. If Harry Kane had converted that penalty, as he should have, England beat France. We never know to this day, right? Then they had Morocco, which France were expected to beat, and then Argentina, where France were getting completely outplayed in. But then guess what? Mbappe stole the show, was a hat trick. Yeah, and you know what's crazy, guys? Out of all the teams, I think they probably put the best performance of the runner-up team here. And they probably gave it their all. I think Argentina also gave their all as well, but yeah, I think France were pretty good. So 2022 France, man. Unbelievable. For me, I think that the fourth best runner-up is 21st century. 1998 format. Third place, I'm going to give it to Netherlands. I think Netherlands, for me, I thought they were incredible. They were very, very physical, very difficult to, very aggressive, meaning that it was very difficult to beat them because of how difficult they were. I thought their midfield defense was outstanding. Um, and they were just great, And I look at the key players they had in 2010. You look at the players like Robin. Robin, what a guy this was. Schneider as well, man. Schneider had just won the treble with Inter that same year, and now got to the World Cup final, right? And people are going to remember Robin's miss at that World Cup final against that save Casillas made, one of the best saves of all time. That save, and I would say probably the save that what's it called, Emi Martinez did on Aquilomani, are probably some of the best saves of all time. That save, and for me, I actually feel like Casillas one was more impressive considering that was a really good shot and almost went in, and the way he saved it. Don't get me wrong. I think in terms of more critical in this, and I think more game defining, obviously the Colomani one's probably more incredible because that was literally the last kick of the game. But in terms of actual save itself, I'll probably go with Casillas. So for me, Netherlands they played against Slovakia in the round of 16. They played against Brazil. They took down Brazil. By the way, Brazil were great. Like this was a Brazil team that Brazil were expected to beat them. And the Uruguay as well. Remember the tournament Forlan had. Forlan was incredible in 2010. And then Spain in the final. And what was so interesting about Spain in the final was that they went down to 10 men, and Spain barely beat them 1-0 with Andres Iniesta scoring the goal in extra time. Obviously, one of Spain's best moments of their history. So for me, Netherlands 2010, I think is third, and I think it's fair. Now, top two, guys. Top two. Hmm. Top two, guys. This is interesting. I'm going to go with France 06. I think France 06 were pretty good. Zidane was obviously incredible. And this was the Zidane. I think he came out of retirement and literally played this World Cup, and was incredible. Bro, that performance he had against Brazil is one of the best performances of all time. That was incredible. So the 2006 they played against Spain. He was also pretty good in that game. Brazil, Portugal, and then Italy. And then of course we all remember what Zidane did that final. That famous Panenka against one of the best goalkeepers of all time. Gianluigi Buffon is incredible. And obviously people remember his headbutt he did in that final against Materazzi because Materazzi insulted his sister. And France went on to lose the penalties. And I'll be honest with you guys. Had Zidane stayed on the pitch, do France win that World Cup? Potentially. They could have. We never know to this day. And that's the reason why I put them in the top two, because I feel like one player costed their team, but if that player didn't cost the team, they may have won it. So for me, I think France 06 was really good. Also, Thierry Henry was also pretty good in that World Cup as well. He was pretty important as well. And now we move on. The best, and it goes without saying, man, Brazil, 1998. And I believe, had Brazil had R9 and had that controversy, which we know was poisoned, allegedly, he could have won that World Cup. I mean, guys, let's be real, guys. Brazil made the World Cup final in 1994, 98, 2002. They could have won 3 World Cups in a row, guys. That is incredible. To reach 3 finals in a row is incredible. Also, shout out to Romario. Romario was also pretty good. Rivaldo. Rivaldo was also really good as well in 1998, of course. And yeah, when you look at the path they had Chile, they had Denmark, they had Netherlands, and France. So they just played against the host team, and the host team won 3-0. So in terms of like worst World Cup final performances, I'd probably put them in the bottom if we're ranking by final performances. But as a whole, man, I think this team is the most talented, most stacked of all the runner-up teams, and therefore, in my opinion, the best runner-up team, the 1998 format onwards. So there you have it, guys. That is my ranking for you guys. I want to know what you guys think in the comments below, guys. Do you guys agree or disagree? Let me know all that in the comments below, guys. You guys like and subscribe as well. If you guys want to see more tier lists, let me know as well. Yeah, you guys did enjoy.